What's good, everybody? It's your boy G-Guac420, finally back at it with another episode of Collected Disconnect. And as you can see from in front of me, we are doing the long-awaited Dark Knight Trilogy set from McFarlane DC Multiverse. And as you can see, we do have a couple goodies out on my desk. I don't know what brand this is right here, but we do have an old school tumbler. I believe this is from the first movie. I could be wrong, but I don't see any actual brands on the bottom. It just says DC Comics from China, but I did pick this up from a flea market a couple months ago last year. Pretty cool. I will be using this in the background when I actually unbox the figures. Right here we do have my custom Dark Knight figure right here, made from a Battison McFarlane figure. This is a custom Christian Bale head sculpt. I showed this a couple times in my previous videos, so he will be right here just for comparison as well. Also, we'll be taking off his head and putting it on the official Christian Bale Batman figure, just because, you know, it didn't come with an actual unmasked head, but I already have one, so there's that. Right here we have a Battison Batarang. As you can see, I am wearing the official Battison shirt as well. I went ahead and attached a freaking razor blade to the back. This is going to be my official box opener, box cutter right here. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get that McFarlane box out here, and without further ado, let's get it cracking.
Oh, your buddy.
Alright, so here we have the figures still in box. I have been sitting on this package for about 3 weeks. I believe this was the second shipment that shipped out from McFarlane Toys Stores, straight from the source. First of all, shout out to Jaeger101 for always supplying the freaking news. He posted that these were actually shipping like straight up, no pre-order from McFarlane Toys Store. Once again, shout out to Jaeger101 for always supplying the freaking DC Multiverse news and leaks. If you're not following him by now, I don't know what you're doing, man. That dude doesn't even sleep, apparently. I'll be like commenting on his videos and his stories like at freaking 2 o'clock in the morning, and he'll freaking comment back like in 30 seconds. So Jaeger, you're a freaking legend, man. I appreciate everything you do. But yeah, let's go ahead and get the handy Batarang out. This is fucking crazy looking. I hope I don't cut myself with this damn razor blade, but I got this from a Halloween shop for like $5, which is fucking sick. But yeah, let's go ahead and cut this bad boy open. So yeah, real quick, I did pre-order these bad boys also from Amazon. I don't really collect a lot of DC Multiverse in box, but freaking Christian Bale and the Dark Knight Trilogy are like my favorite, well, is my favorite Batman of all time. I don't know if you guys can see my tattoo. I got this one day like 5 years ago, super drunk, but I always knew I wanted it. But yeah, I just remember being a freaking kid, 2005. My dad pulled up after work one day with the original Batman Begins movie, and ever since then, I mean, Batman's been my favorite freaking superhero since then. And of course, the Batman Beyond show and the animated show as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and crack this open. Woo! This is my first time actually seeing these figures in person, so my reactions are going to be 100% genuine. I know a lot of people are hating on the Scarecrow and the Two-Face because the likeness and the costumes and whatnot, but let's go ahead and get these guys out of the box. I don't know if you guys can see, I do have the Lego tumbler right there. I don't know what the scale is compared to actual action figures, but I was planning on building that before this video, but it will take a long time. This was actually a housewarming gift, but I still haven't got my new house yet. That will be coming soon this year. But for now, I did pick up this smaller Batmobile. I know it's going to scale a little bit smaller, but I just wanted to use that for the video purpose and for figure photography. So let's go ahead and get the first villain out. I'm gonna go ahead and let's go from Batman Begins to, you know, Dark Knight Rises and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get Scarecrow out of the box. Alright, so first of all, fucking fire. I see what people meant by the mask being super dark. I recently just picked up the 4K version of the Dark Knight Trilogy, and I didn't really realize that he was in all 3 movies. Crane of the Scarecrow, which is pretty funny. But yeah, I guess his mask wasn't this dark, but I seen a lot of people kind of confused when he had these maggots coming out of his face. I think every single time he was on it showed people getting poisoned by his toxin, it always kind of showed maggots coming out. So It could be used for any instance, but this specific look was of course used when he was on the horse on the Batman Begins scene when he broke out of Arkham. I actually did pick up a horse just for this figure, so I will be showing that later on in the video. Definitely want to do some repaints on these figures for sure. Not necessarily repaints, but maybe some washes and some touch-ups. But yeah, first up, Scarecrow. So actually, let me go ahead and move this box out of the way. I didn't realize how much or how little you could actually see of me. So following Batman Begins, we got the Dark Knight. So let's go ahead and pull out the best villain of the entire trilogy, of course. You guys can argue with me, but I mean, we all know it's of course Heath Ledger Joker. Now I do have the NECA version as well. I don't know if the one I have it right here, I'm about to pull it out right now, is a bootleg, but I picked it up a couple years ago for like really cheap. I always wanted like a 6-inch, 7-inch Heath Ledger, so I picked that up. So hopefully it's not the bootleg, just so I can do a really good comparison between it. But my initial reaction, man, this thing is fucking dope, dude. Holy shit. He appears to be like a little tall. I want to see how he scales with everybody else, but that's just my initial reaction. I mean, of course, these are 7-inch, but that pile of fucking money is sick. I might want to do like a flame effect, because if you remember from that scene where he lights up the money, I believe that's where this is from as well. One of my favorite lines from that freaking scene is like when he's telling that mob guy, how about I cut you up into a couple pieces and feed you to your pooches? Like, man, that's like one of the fucking hardest fucking lines from Joker in that entire movie. Oh man, this is freaking, I mean, this is why I'm ordering a second set, just to keep it mint on box, you know, just to immortalize the greatest Joker of all time, Heath Ledger right here. Overall, this guy is super solid. I have a suspicion that he will be my favorite of the wave, other than Christian Bale. So yeah, here we go. Heath Ledger, the Joker from The Dark Knight. What's up? Also from The Dark Knight, we do have Harvey Dent. And like I said, I did just recently pick up that 4K Blu-ray Dark Knight Trilogy. And I just grew to appreciate all the movies more. I actually really appreciated this guy's character even more, just seeing all the trauma and shit he went through, and his actual character arc, and just what he was set out to do in the beginning as the actual DA and whatnot, and then just seeing him actually go through what he did and it's like metamorphosis and whatnot. My initial reaction, I see what people meant by the head sculpt not matching up with the actual actor. I forgot his name off the top, but I mean, just having a Two-Face in your collection, I mean, you can't beat that. I personally don't have a Two-Face in my collection, so I really don't care how it looks, so long as he literally has a fucking second face on his face. The coin in his hand is pretty badass. And yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong with this figure other than the likeness. But I'm not going to be able to tell 10 feet away in my collection. So here we have it. Harvey Dent as Two-Face from the Dark Knight movie. Pretty badass. Alright, so last but not least, what everybody came to see. I'm going to go ahead and look at it first. Show you guys later. But fuck. We have Christian Bale, Dark Knight. Oh man, he looks way better in person. I was kind of worried about these eyes. I was actually gonna paint them all black because some of the promo pics, like the leak pics, kind of showed a little bit too much white in the eyes. And I was just gonna like go ahead and paint them black because in the movies, I mean, you don't even see the white in his eyes most of the time. And in all 3 movies. So yeah, I went ahead and I watched the Bones review as well. And he did some really quick customs that I'm gonna do as well, like painting the grapnel gun black. He added some more black to the actual suit, which I wanted to do. But seeing it in person, I might need some better light, but it does look a little bit more black than I was expecting. From the videos that I've been watching, it looks a little bit more gray. But my version kind of does look pretty spot on to the movies, which is the source material. My biggest gripe for sure is these freaking batarangs. I'll show you guys a closer look for sure right here. But they are pretty freaking huge. Most of the batarangs from McFarlane are pretty huge. I think that new Batman from Nightfall is actually one of the first Batmans to actually come with like accurate size batarangs. So I might consider actually like using a Dremel or something and making these smaller. I mean, they came with 3 of them, so that's 3 chances to make at least one decent size batarang, especially from that one scene where he actually has 2 batarangs in between his fingers. I would like to recreate that, if anything. But I mean, those are pretty freaking small. If he fit 2 of them in his hand, I mean, these are giant as fuck. So yeah, I mean, and then of course the 5th figure in this wave is Bane. So we'll be comparing him to the other Banes I have, which are comic, which is kind of dumb because I mean, this is live action, so of course he's going to be tiny. And Tom Hardy, of course, is a notoriously tiny guy. Shout out to our short kings out there. I'm 5'6", 5'7" on a good day, so shout out Tom Hardy for representing us. So yeah, I'm still thinking this Heath Ledger is gonna be my number 1, but damn, this Batman is really fucking amazing. I think for sure is gonna be maybe a tie, if anything. The Dark Knight for sure is my favorite Batman movie of the trilogy. Probably my favorite superhero movie of all time. And I mean, yeah, it's the reason I have this freaking tattooed on my body. I mean, I don't just get random superheroes. I don't have a Spider-Man tattoo on me, even though Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes of all time. But I mean, this movie truly like did something to me as a kid. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy to have these guys. Like I said, I actually ordered both of these guys again to keep mints on box. But let's go ahead and open these guys up. Build a Bane. Yeah, give you guys some additional thoughts and actually build a shelf at the end. So let's go ahead and get it cracking once again.
Oh, your money!
Alright, so let's go ahead and open up Scarecrow. I will be doing this in movie chronological order. So we'll be doing Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and then Dark Knight Rises. So of course we have Crane right here, the Scarecrow, pretty badass villain. Of course, Ra's al Ghul was the villain of Batman Begins, but I feel like if they fleshed him out a bit, he could have been the actual main villain of that movie. And like I said earlier, I will be giving you guys some of my favorite quotes from each villain. Let me know in the comments what your guys' favorite quotes from these guys were. For Scarecrow, my personal one was when Batman and Scarecrow first meet in that apartment. He says, "You look like you take yourself too seriously." This is when Batman has gasoline all over himself, and he's like, "You need to lighten up," and proceeds to fucking set Batman on fire, which I thought was like one of the baddest introductions ever for Scarecrow, and that being the first Batman movie always stuck with me as a kid. So here we have Scarecrow out of the box. First of all, holy shit. Damn, holy shit. That is the strongest smell of paint I've ever fucking smelled on a figure. Holy crap. Damn, you could actually get high off this shit. You could put this in your shirt probably. Let me get a quick hit. Holy shit. That smells like actual spray paint, dude. Ah. I just caught a buzz. Fuck, dude. I'm just fucking with you. It does smell pretty fucking strong, though. Jeez, man. I think that's a fucking Scarecrow toxin built in, so that's like an extra accessory. Todd followed through in that shit. Actual fear toxin with Scarecrow, because damn, that shit's going straight to my fucking head. Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's give that a second. Let's cut to commercial break real quick.
Go get him, bros! He's getting away! Fuck. Oh yeah, sure, Mom and Dad, I'll go to school, become a psychiatrist. Now look at me, I'm a fucking scarecrow and I'm running away from a psychiatrist as a bat. I should have just specialized in dance like I wanted to.
Woo! Alright, so he was not playing. These are fresh off the fucking line from Todd McFarlane's fucking factory. He still stinks after 5 minutes of airing out. Well, real quick while he continues to air out, we have the McFarlane horse from the Witcher line right here. I know he has another horse. He actually has 3, I believe. He has one for his Spawn line, which I actually picked that up as well. I might be showing that in a sec. With the Gunslinger Spawn, I picked that up because it was cheaper than getting this, but I found this for like 20 bucks on Mercari, so I went ahead and picked this up just for Scarecrow, you know, just to have an accurate scene, and I gave him a little flame effect. Just because, I mean, if you're going to give us a specific scene, I want it to be specific as possible. So, I mean, this is from the Arkham Asylum breakout, so he has to have that freaking horse. I would love to have freaking Rachel like freaking tasing him and him doing that scream. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. I don't know why I did the accent, but yeah, this dude still stinks. But yeah, so I'm gonna put him up on this horse just to give a better representation of Scarecrow and what he can truly do. And yeah, let's go ahead and cut to a closer view. I know you guys want to keep looking at my face, but let's go ahead and look at the figure instead. Alright, so here we have a closer look at Scarecrow on his horse. Once again, this is the Witcher horse Roach from McFarlane as well. Looking pretty badass. The sculpts on both of these figures are amazing. Like I said, I had to have this horse go with the Scarecrow. And as you can see, the detail on the face is pretty amazing. I see what people meant again by that darker mask, but let's go ahead and put this bad boy up on the shelf. And unfortunately, I thought I was going to have enough clearance to actually have his bad boy pose up with the horse, but he is a little squished, so I might work on a solution on that in the future. But for right now, he'd be kind of squished right here in the background. So there's Crane on his horse once again, looking pretty badass. Alright, so following Scarecrow, we do have Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight, the second movie in the trilogy, aka the best Batman movie of all time, the best superhero movie of all time. And right here on my left, your right, we do have the NECA Dark Knight Heath Ledger. And like I said, I don't even remember when this came out. I didn't know it was actually a legit thing. I know they have like that quarter scale or that 6 scale, whatever scale it is, Heath Ledger Joker. So I didn't even know they made an actual 1/12 version. But I haven't seen this guy in a few months. He's been in my storage, but he looks pretty fucking amazing actually looking at him now. So I might be a little bit more biased when actually looking at this guy in person, in hand, compared to this guy, because I mean, I'll be showing you guys a closer up, but he has an actual metal chain right here for his wallet or whatever this is. He comes with the gun that he used in this movie. I don't really know what guns are. I'm gonna say MP40 or I don't know what the fuck that is. Comes with a little switchblade as well, which I believe is accurate to the movie. Well, he has like 15 fucking knives, so I guess any knife is accurate. But I kind of overall do like the dark purple wash. I just watched the movie a couple days ago, and I don't know, I believe depending on the light, both of them are accurate. But of course, the McFarlane does have like a more brighter, just made, just tailored suit look to the entire suit. I mean, the green, the purple, everything is a little bit more brighter and more like uniform. The DC Multiverse one for sure looks way better, just with the actual makeup application and whatnot. So real quick, I actually did find my old Joker NECA box right here, and I mean, it looks pretty legit in person. Like I said, I actually never heard about this years ago. I don't really know if this is legit or just a knockoff version, but looks pretty badass. The accessories it comes with and whatnot. So let me know in the comments if this is actually legit. Looks pretty good in person. But let's go ahead and open this actual McFarlane one up real quick. Give you guys my initial thoughts and reactions. And let's see. I think I told you guys earlier, my favorite quote was when he was burning that stack of money and he was talking to one of the mob guys, the Chechen, and he was like, "You guys work for me now." And then Chechen was like, "They never worked for a psycho like you." Something about loyalty. He's like, with a real Brooklyn accent, kind of sound like Harley Quinn. He was like, "Well, how about I cut you up into a couple pieces and feed you to your pooches?" And I'm just like, man, dude, when I first heard that, that was just like, took me back. I was like, that was fucking hardcore, Joker. Like, you saying some shit like that made me like a fucking real big fan. And my other favorite quote from Joker is in the hospital scene when he's talking to Two-Face, and he's saying he doesn't have a plan, and he's like, "I'm like a dog chasing a car. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught one." I always really like that quote and that saying. Kind of how I live my life. I wouldn't know what to do if I actually made it to the finish line, if I actually made it to, you know, my overall goal, like this YouTube shit right now. I'm just winging it, so hope you guys are enjoying it, enjoying my overall rant of a video, which I'm starting to notice. Sorry about that. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a closer look at Heath Ledger's Joker. Off the top, this guy also stinks a bunch, just like fucking Scarecrow. I guess Todd McFarlane just put that fear toxin paint in every figure so far. So let's go ahead and air this guy out for a bit so I don't catch a secondhand high and let it influence my decision on who's the best out of this wave.
Alright, so here we have a closer look at Heath Ledger's Joker from the Dark Knight movie. Off the top, this is one of Todd McFarlane's best action figures ever produced. Here we have a close-up on his amazing head sculpt, and I don't think the camera and the lights right here do it justice, but the makeup and the just the entire head sculpt in general looks way better in person. And only gripe with this figure, the only one I could find is the rope chain that he has going on right here. I actually had it tucked in because it's honestly way too long. Like, I don't remember seeing it in the movie, and I don't remember it being that pronounced. So here we have the NECA Joker right here with an actual metal chain. And as you can see, it's pretty small. I felt like it's more accurate. But when I was giving this figure praise, kind of looks shitty in this lighting and right now in a close-up. But in person, the actual suit is kind of more dark purple, but right here looks kind of brown for some reason. But yeah, the head sculpts are some competition. McFarlane blew this thing out of the water. This head sculpt makes it seem like it is a knockoff in my opinion, but the overall body, the accessories, it still passed off for a really good Joker in my collection for the past couple years. So overall, still a good figure. It is super loose, comes apart really easy, but I am using the gun from this NECA figure on this one right here. So I'm kind of happy that I have that, at least, since there's a no gun rule for Todd McFarlane's DC Multiverse line. And here we have the stack of cash, which is an amazing accessory. Shame there is no actual face markings on the bills. It is hollow right there. And I just noticed in this recording that there's a little peg stand right there in the black pieces, if you can see right there, which is pretty cool. So I have that right there in the back. And yeah, let's go ahead and add Heath Ledger to his final position up on my Dark Knight shelf.
Here we do have, of course, Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, the DA of Gotham. And like I said initially when I got him out of the box, there's not much you can do wrong with this guy. I mean, he has two faces. That's pretty much all you need. He has his coin. If he didn't have his coin, that'd probably be the only thing that actually keep me from giving this guy like a 10 out of 10. I know everybody's been saying that he doesn't look like the actor. What is it? Like, his name is like Aaron Eckhart, or I don't know, something like that. But I mean, off the top, he kind of doesn't, but he resembles him. I mean, it's close, but it's not perfect like Heath Ledger was, of course. But we'll go ahead and look at Bane at the end and see how close that is too. But I mean, he's wearing a mask. With McFarlane, of course, it's always hit or miss with live action likeness. Most of the time, it's actually miss unless you're Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, which, I mean, that was fucking perfect head sculpt. But most of the time, if you're live action DC, it's kind of ugly. I'm talking to you, most of the Justice League live action figures, other than I think Gal Gadot, whatever her name is, looks pretty good. But Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Aquaman look pretty badass actually, but most of the live action figures don't look good. Yeager just posted the Supergirl from the Flash movie. Doesn't look good. So my favorite two quotes from Two-Face from the Dark Knight, the first and most popular one, of course, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And my other one is at the end of the movie, I believe he says, our mistake was trying to be decent men in indecent time. So I think that one really hits hard, because the entire point of the movie was they can arrest everybody, they can make all the mob people go away, but truly the corrupt always wins. Chaos, like Joker, always comes out on top no matter what. This guy actually isn't that bad with the smell. The first couple were super horrible, but let's go ahead and get you guys a closer look at Two-Face. He looks pretty better actually in person. I mean, as long as the actual burnt half looks cool, he looks actually pretty accurate to the movie. I'm okay with it. The chin has like a huge like white spot. I guess it's supposed to be his skull. I don't know how accurate that is to the freaking movie. I might just have to cover that up. I was planning on giving him a more like glossy finish, but yeah, let's go ahead and give you guys a closer look and some more of my thoughts.
Alright, so here we have a closer look at Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face. And honestly, guys, there's not one single bad figure in this entire wave. I mean, the head sculpt on this guy is fucking amazing. I mean, look at this burnt half right here. Of course, like the likeness, like we said earlier, is not 100% to Aaron Eckhart, but I mean, the sculpt is there. The suit looks fantastic, super accurate to the movie. I think it's only burnt from the actual coat part, and I mean, look at the back of his head. Kind of looks like Freddy Krueger from the back. This thing's amazing. Only gripe maybe is his coin. Small gripe, but I mean, it's not burnt from one side like it is in the movie. I think it's painted the exact same shade. My thumb, index finger on this hand is actually painted silver as well, so that's my only gripe. And of course, you know, not having a gun, but McFarlane can't do anything about that. And I actually have this random gun in his hand for right now. It's not accurate to the movie since he has a revolver, but let's go ahead and put this guy up on the shelf. Also, one more thing, he does have smaller feet, which make it kind of hard for him to stand up. And right now I do stand him up without a peg stand, but later on in the video he does fall, so I actually have to add a peg stand on his feet. So yeah, here we have Two-Face once again, all posed up on the shelf.
Alright guys, so last but not least, we do have Christian Bale himself, the Dark Knight, Batman right here, looking pretty damn amazing in the box. And I don't really have too many favorite quotes from him. One of them I do have is, "It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me." I believe that's how it goes. I think Rachel Dawes actually originally tells him that, and he just says that again in the movie. But here we have my custom Christian Bale once again. The kind of clear cut I gave him kind of makes him look like Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, so it's like a 2-for-1 head sculpt right there. Maybe I'll put him on the Harvey Dent Two-Face body since it's a suit. Get you a little Patrick Bateman action real quick. But yeah, let's go ahead and pop this guy open and give you guys my initial reaction. Handy batarang real quick. And like I said previously, I will be giving this guy a little bit of paint, of course, on the accessories and whatnot. Let's give it a smell test. Okay, so not bad. I don't know why that Scarecrow and the Harvey Dent just absolutely reeked of freaking paint, like fresh off the line paint. But I mean, looking at this guy in person, whew, pretty badass. So after watching The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises again this past week, I did notice like the bat symbol is actually a little bit more darker compared to his actual action figure. He has like a black stripe across his chest, and the bat symbol on this figure is more gray, so the contrast is a little bit different. I think Bones of the Necro Zoo made that a little bit more black, so we'll be doing the same just to make it more accurate to the movie. Like we said earlier in the beginning as well, the grapnel gun has actually black paint on it. It's not just all gold like that. Overall, the details, the sculpt, pretty freaking amazing. I don't know which other company has a Bale Batman. I'm pretty sure like Mafex has one, or Mezco. I don't know which one out of that two, but this is pretty damn amazing for a $20 figure, or excuse me, $25 since it's a builder figure wave. But honestly, my initial reaction is this thing is perfect, dude. I mean, there's nothing else you could have done to it, honestly, other than make smaller batarangs. That's my only gripe, really. The additional paint stuff, I mean, it wasn't really necessary. I'm just gonna do it just because I want it to be 100% accurate, but that's just me. Like, you can just take it as it is and it'll be a perfect representation of the Dark Knight suit from The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. I know everybody's saying that they really want the first suit from Batman Begins. I'll take that suit as well. I prefer this one over that one. Maybe once I actually see that one in hand, I might have different opinions, but this one's always been my favorite suit. Just, you know, for the reason that he can actually move his head and whatnot. But I understand why everybody likes that first suit. I mean, I grew up on that movie, of course, as a kid in 2005, 2006. So, alright, so last but not least, we do have the Build-A-Figure from this wave. This is, of course, Tom Hardy as the Build-A-Bane, looking pretty menacing. I have him in his infamous pose, him grabbing his vest like he always does. Irma's little forge. I don't know if you guys watch the Harley Quinn show on HBO Max, but the Bane on that show does an impression of this Bane, which kind of sounds like this. Stop making fun of me. Which I felt it's super hilarious, but he kind of sounds like this as well. So here we go. I will be giving you guys a closer look. My initial thought when actually building this guy and putting him together was his legs were a little bit too long. Looking at him now, I guess he was actually, you know, a little bit shorter in the actual movie because Tom Hardy is notoriously known as being a short actor and whatnot. So they went ahead and made him a little bit more larger in the action figure scale. But I actually didn't have his legs inserted in all the way. He does have like this little rubber, everyone likes to call them rubber diapers for McFarlane, but the rubber piece, the crotch area. I went ahead and inserted the legs a little bit more and they fit more snug, and his height actually fixed a little bit. So looking at him now from a distance, he kind of looks perfect actually. So he is growing on me, no pun intended, but I feel like his height may be a smidge too tall, but I think he scales well with the Christian Bale Batman. In the movie, I think they were like exactly the same height. He did wear lifts in his boots, Tom Hardy in the movie, just so he could be the same size as Christian Bale. So yeah, let's go ahead and give you guys a closer look at Bane and show you guys all the figures in the wave once again. And then yeah, let's go ahead and put these bad boys up on the very own shelf.
Alright, so here we have a close-up of Bane, looking pretty badass. Overall, pretty cool figure, amazing sculpt, and not a lot of paint, as to be expected. But the head sculpt is pretty good, not 100% Tom Hardy, but he is wearing a mask, and it is passable, so overall pretty cool. And one thing I forgot to mention was, I believe the right hands on these Banes are coming with inverted pegs. So I went ahead and heated the peg up and swapped it out. I'll be showing you guys a picture right here of what the peg looks like. But overall, still amazing figure. Only had a couple gripes, so let's go ahead and put them in the background. And there goes Two-Face right there. And last but not least, we have the man of the hour, the Dark Knight himself, Christian Bale as Batman, looking pretty fucking amazing. And right now, he is actually going to be my favorite figure of the entire wave. I did say earlier that it was going to be a tie between the Joker and this guy, but just being the die-hard Batman fan I am, this guy takes the cake for sure. Not a lot of gripes about this guy at all, other than like the paint job on the grapnel gun and on the bat symbol. But overall, this thing is a perfect figure. For sure my favorite Batman of all time from McFarlane, and probably my favorite actual McFarlane figure so far. And right here we have the unmasked custom painted head sculpt from eBay, which I got last year when attempting to make my own custom Bat-Bale right here using a Battison body. And like I said earlier, I did give him a clear coat instead of a matte coat like an idiot, so he kind of resembles his Patrick Bateman skincare routine counterpart. But here we have both of them posed up next to each other, looking pretty badass. And here we have the actual head sculpt on the Dark Knight body. And honestly, it's not half bad. I won't be actually keeping this head on there. I actually like the mask head instead. But I just have a random peg in there just to show you guys what it could look like unmasked. I believe in the movies he's only unmasked with the suit on about 2 or 3 times. So it wouldn't really make sense for me to actually have him unmasked, other than, you know, just to see Christian Bale's beautiful face. So there you guys have it. This was a solid wave 1 of the Dark Knight Trilogy figures. I say wave 1 in hopes of a wave 2. We are of course missing Ra's al Ghul and Catwoman, just to name a few. So really hope McFarlane does pull out a wave 2. I can use some Joker variants, of course, the Nurse Joker and even the bank robber Joker from the beginning of the movie. So there's that. Right now I'm putting Christian Bale into his final position. I'm kind of torn between having him look down and look up. I think the look down pose is more iconic. He's always kind of skulking, looking down over his shoulder and whatnot.
So yeah, that officially brings us to the end of the video. I know this was a long one. It's actually my longest video I've ever made, but we had a lot of figures to go through. So thank you guys for watching, and like always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.